It's an exciting time once again. Welcome to the Blue Heart podcast brought to you by Natic. It's conversations whereby we delve much on social issues and pertinent issues that affect our daily lives. Today, once again, in this episode, we're excited to have you as our listeners. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel so that you can be part of our conversations. For today, it's an honor for me to have a guest once again. He is a father, he is a husband, he is a minister of the gospel. He is also a lecturer at the University of Eswatini. Listeners, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to have Mr. Clement Dlamini with me, who is our guest today. Mr. Clement, welcome to the Blue Heart podcast.
Thank you, Director. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Thank you. Nkosi, I think you've been following part of the work that we do as an organization, and also I think the strides that you have made on your personal capacity as well as on your professional capacity also made us to invite you to be part of this conversation today. For starters, maybe one would actually like to know, who is Clement Dlamini? Where is he coming from?
When you start by saying I am a known person and you ask me who I am, my name is Clement Nkosinathi Dlamini.
Yes.
I am a lecturer at the University of Eswatini. I also am the director for the Center for Community Services, and I'm also, like you said, I'm a minister of the gospel. I know that this program is not about advertising your church, but I am a minister, I'm a father, and I'm also a husband to one wife.
Who happens to be a female.
Yes, who happens to be a female.
Yeah, just for clarity's sake. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Dlamini. I think I want us to start here. I know you are a parent and you're also a father. And one thing I know about you is that you are a parent to two handsome boys. I think let's start there.
Yeah.
In these days, we are faced with a situation whereby we are having most male figures, and especially boy children, who are raised up without having a father figure to look up to. Yeah. And also, we know the implications of that when it comes now to them being fathers and husbands in the future.
Yeah.
So how is it raising the boy child and being present to their lives as a father? I think you have experiences that you can share with us, the exciting moments that you have raising a boy child.
Let me go backwards. Mm-hmm. So it's very important I think it's a very good question that you are asking.
Yeah.
But the one of the major challenges that one has is the fact that ku raise boys.
Mm-hmm.
Ube nawe you were raised by a single mother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in the absence of a father.
Okay.
You don't have a model that you use to know how to raise the kids or the boys.
Yeah.
But also on the flip side, it's a very good thing. As far as I'm concerned, a program here, television. I think it gave me a challenge to start a journey that I didn't know.
Okay.
And gave me an assignment to actually search on how I can be able to become a great father.
Okay.
And also maybe demystify some of the things that were said about a young man who was raised by a woman without, the assertions that you have no capability of raising boys. You were not raised by a father. How can you raise children?
Yeah.
So I think that gave me a challenge.
Okay.
A challenge as in gave me an assignment to actually see how I can ensure that I do the best of the best jobs. Mm-hmm. So definitely it's exciting. I think one of the things, without maybe making it a long response, one of the challenges that I gave myself is that I want them to have the best childhood. I also want them to have a relationship with me.
Yeah.
And be able to say to me and ask me anything that they want to ask me. And create this level playing ground so that they can be able to reach out to me as and when they want to reach out.
Yeah.
They get embarrassed, obviously, when we talk about serious issues. but at least there is this element of wanting to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you so much, Mr. Lamin. I think also my point of interest from the answer that you have just given now is that you yourself, you were raised by a single mother,
Yeah.
And you happen not to see a father modeling the life that you actually want to live as well.
Yeah.
So what actually helped you as a boy child now when you are grown up, being a husband and a father, to then heal from that? Because I think we cannot run away from the fact that there are traumas that go with it. So now, how then do you overcome that to ensure that you become the actual husband that your wife would expect from you, and the father that your children, especially your sons, would love to see?
That's a tough question. You see, every time I speak about that in response to that question,
Yeah.
I always say, you know, I can never go back and say this is specifically something
Okay.
that taught me to be what I think I am today, or what you saw that I am today, or what others actually observe and say, yo, that guy looks like a great father.
Yeah.
He's always around with his kids and whatnot. I think maybe one should also emphasize the fact that, you know, having a parent, having a mother who tries as much as they could or as they can to expose you to different types of male figureheads.
Yes.
Right? And those male figureheads, as I recall, were not the best in terms of exhibiting fatherhood. To an extent that when I told my mother I was getting married, she said to me, "You are getting married. What do you know? What tell her, Bigshot?"
Yeah.
Because la ekhayeni there's no one who ekhayeni khabo mage nase khabo ihlo. There's no one who has actually done what you are doing.
Yeah.
But because of my exposure, I guess, to seeing other male models and other fathers doing what they're doing, I decided, being born in a family that a father was not present,
Okay.
I don't want my children to experience the same thing.
Okay.
Let me start a different legacy in my family. That was my inspiration.
Okay.
So, which is why people said I got married very early. I don't know what early is, but as life was going on, I was asking questions. I'm very curious. I was reading also texts, and also observing other men who I thought were doing well in their relationship, especially when I started now going to church.
Okay.
That's when I started to see, you know, I actually can do this. Yeah. Okay. So my inspiration really was unfortunately, other men didn't feel like I'm typically being a mama's boy, but literally, my main exposure to running a household was my mom.
Okay. Yeah. So meaning to say, Ngozi, it does happen, Ngozi, even if your father is not there. But I think what we are raising is that it starts with you as an individual.
Yes, sir.
What inspires you and how far you want to go in life, then that propels you to become the responsible father and husband that you want to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, I'm loving the conversation, Ngozi. I also wanted to bring another dimension. I think raising your boys today, there are things that we are instilling in terms of values.
Yeah.
I was part of another conversation not so long ago, and it happened to be ladies. Yeah. So they were asking a question to say, what is it that you look for in a partner, being the male? A number of answers came up, and it got me thinking, because they ranged from the fact that shoes, watches, the beard, six pack, you know. So to me, it raised a question to say, if then our girls and our sisters is that which they are looking for in the male figure, then the issue of character comes into play. So we're no longer concerned about character now, we're only concerned about the material things. So what is it that you now say to your boy children in terms of instilling values for them to know their worth that is not linked to material things?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know these questions were going to be this difficult. Okay, let me start from the conversation with the ladies.
Yeah,
I think we especially from an African context. We want to live the Nollywood, the Bollywood, the Hollywood type
of life. Yeah.
Which is not practical, because no one tells the ladies that these people that we watch on television are actually actors.
Yeah.
Now, if you're an actor, it means you are assimilating, or you are pretending to be something. But life is not a movie.
Okay.
Life dictates to us that we use our heads more than our hearts.
Our hearts, yeah.
But people, what they do, they use feelings, heart, then head, which is supposed to be the opposite direction. Because if I'm going to then marry someone because of biceps and and other things and beards and all of these things, those things disappear. I mean, right now I used to have a 6-pack,
but it's no longer there.
Now I've got a 1-pack. So if my wife was looking for a 6-pack, now we would be divorced. So and then that's what the story. The story is for my children. I think since these are kids. My oldest is just turned 14.
Okay.
And then my youngest is 10. And it's easy for you to have a conversation. Okay. When they said to me, when he gets to teenage, I would actually speak to him before he became a teenager. That you see, when you watch movies, look at what teenagers are doing. Yeah. And I said to him, are you going to do the same? They said, no, I won't do that. When I grow up, the way me and you are tight, that's what they would say. Yeah. But when he got to 13, 14, this thing then creeps into his head without him realizing. But I always have a way of pulling him in or pulling them in and having conversations. Serious, embarrassing and serious conversations. But they help because they hear them from the horse. Which is myself.
Of course.
And then the other people that they speak to then become people that they just become bouncing pads. They bounce off ideas, but they know what their father actually thinks about these issues. Yeah. So that has helped conversations, and I ensure now when we drive phones off, we have a conversation in the car. But that's a failing battle that I'm trying. I'm failing dismally, but at least we have a semblance of conversation, and in that way. When we watch a movie and they see something and they ask a question, it becomes a learning opportunity for us, or a teaching opportunity for us. That's basically how I've been able to interact with my boys.
I think also you're raising a very valid point. But I think we also need to understand that we are fighting a battle now as parents, because there's the digital space and digital world. So how then do you navigate that as a father to ensure that which they consume and that which you instill in terms of values, it doesn't contradict, and your values way more higher than what they consume?
It's a tough one, Director, because when you want to navigate the space of social media, for an example. All of their friends are on social media.
Exactly.
Social media becomes a place where they converge for different reasons. Either to play games or to look out for girls. And
of course.
All of these other funny things. And you having a tight leash on social media works, but to a certain extent does not work. Because the very same social media exposes them to important factors and issues around growing up in life. And they're exposed to podcasts and other things like we are doing today. So we attempted, I think we were rigorous in trying to watch what they are watching, look at what they're looking at, and also provide some oversight. But it's porous. The system is always porous. Because in our houses, either if you have no Wi-Fi, they've got data. So they've got this access. So I think for me, what has helped is conversations. Rather than saying I'm going to clamp down on you watching certain things, is for me to explain what watching the thing does to you, to him, does on you to me. The other day we were doing a prayer. I prayed and I spoke about masturbation in the prayer. They laughed as I was praying. When I finished, I was like, "What are you guys laughing at?" They're like, "But how do you mention that word in prayer and speaking to God?" I'm like,
so now you know the word.
They already know the word. So in that way, I was trying to make them understand that some of these things we know that God is aware of.
Of course.
So they also need to have a semblance of control as they do these things. But we never totally can say 100% we win.
No, we'll never win. But I think I like what you are saying, that at least let's have the conversations.
Yes.
Because by the time they go there to consume that, at least there's something that has been deposited. Yeah. So I think I'm liking that. Now I want us also to go back to you now choosing a life partner. What were some of the things that you had with you as ideas getting into the marriage institution? Now that on its own being an institution, then now you choosing the partner that you ended up having. Because I think there are a lot of boys who are now in that dilemma to say, how then do I choose a life partner? What are some of the qualities that I should look up to? And what is this institution that I'm getting into? So maybe if you can share with us, how was it in terms of you in journeying that journey, choosing a life partner and getting into the marriage institution?
I was going to ask, how much time do you have? For that story.
As much as you can elaborate.
It's a long story.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one, though. You see, I think because I chose a life partner after I'd become a Christian.
Okay.
I think it got a bit easier to navigate that space.
Okay.
But to a certain extent, there are things that were as a consequence of being a boy or being a man.
Yeah.
Which I love the fact that boys would say they will define the type of woman that they want. From type of eyes, the hips, the lips, the color of the skin. I went through the same thing.
Okay.
I don't want to lie to someone who's watching or listening to say, no, I just went and I prayed and I said, in Jesus' name, I didn't. I just looked for someone I felt like the character would suit and would be palatable and would be embraceable and I would enjoy it. That's the first characteristic I use.
All right. Now then, getting into the marriage institution, who then held your hand to say, this is what we are getting into now. These are the things you should expect while you are in this institution.
So that's why I asked.
Or you just prayed for it and you find yourself you're inside the institution.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Unfortunately, angizange ngathikethela nje asakhulu kubethi ngizikhethele mina ngathikethela nje babe. There was no hand-holding at all. I just decided this is the woman that I like and I think she suits the character that I think is suitable for me. There was a lot of conservatism around it, and I felt like, oh, this is the one. And she exhibited those characteristics, and that was it. And then falling in love obviously was part of it, but the journey, I think the crux of that relationship, it began because I was heartbroken. I had already broken up with someone, and I didn't want to go into this one on a rebound. So I had to spend 3 years
healing,
detoxing. They talk about toxic relationship. I was detoxing, and ensuring that I don't want to go into the next one with the same traumas that I had in the previous one. I'm not saying she was traumatic, but I'm just saying I wanted to clean my system. Then in that process we were friends. Like friends, like for almost 2 years.
Being friends.
Being friends. And obviously, as you are being friends, you are watching and say, hey, this one. I think this one is suitable for this thing that I want to do. And then that was it.
Okay. I want you to hold that thought as we take a break. And then when we come back, I want us to pick it from there. You're still watching the Blue Heart podcast brought to you by Natic, and today we're having Mr. Clement Dlamini and we're having this exciting conversation. We'll be back right away. Stay tuned and we'll be back.